All right, let's talk about how we use the unit circle. So let's first talk about cosine of theta. Now, if we're talking about an angle on here using this unit circle, I'm going to draw on my little triangle. We have theta down here, okay? And we know that cosine, based off our lessons from 13.1, is adjacent over top of our hypotenuse. So here would be our adjacent side. Here would be our hypotenuse. Now, we know that in a unit circle, that this radius right here is always going to be 1. So if I know that, all I'm talking about is my adjacent side. That's my x value. And I know that my radius is 1. So an easier way to think about cosine is equivalent to x. So again, cosine theta is always your x value. Now if we think about sine theta, well, we know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, opposite. And opposite would just be our y value over top of our radius, which again we know is 1. So sine is just y. So sine theta, y. Last piece is tangent theta. Okay, well we know that tangent is opposite over adjacent, and we said that our opposite side, that's going to be our y value. And our adjacent side is our x. So you can write tangent as y over x, or you can go ahead and write it as sine over cosine. Okay, they all mean the same thing. So now let's take that fancy dancy unit circle and let's actually find some values. So we have cosine of 210. Well, the first thing we want to find is 210 on our unit circle. There's 210. And we said that cosine is your x value. So if we look at my x value right here, the answer is just negative square root of 3 over 2. All right, if we do the sine of 315, okay, sine again is your y value. We find 315 on our unit circle. We're talking about our y value. So the answer is negative square root of 2 over 2. All right, our next one, cosine. Again, cosine is our x values. We have 4 pi over 3. So we need to find where 4 pi over 3 is on our unit circle. Again, we're talking about our x values. So this guy would be negative a half. All right, last but not least, we have sine of pi. Okay, sine is our y value. We know that pi is over here at 180. Now, sine, again, is your y value. So make sure we're looking at the right one. So sine of pi is 0. All right, so you're just reading the unit circle. So this unit circle is something that you're going to typically have to memorize. Obviously, we're doing distant learning, so you'll be able to keep this in front of you, and being able to read it is key. Now, the last part is we haven't talked about tangent. Quick reminder, write this up on the top. Tangent is y over x, or sine over cosine. All right, so let's start at 180. All right, there's 180. We look at our coordinate points. Now we're supposed to do y over x. So we have 0 over negative 1 because our y value again was 0. Our x value is negative 1. 0 divided by anything is 0. All right, let's go to tangent of 90. Here's our 90 degrees. Here are our values. This time we would have 1 for our y, 0 for our x. We're not allowed to have 0 in the bottom of a fraction, so this guy is actually undefined. Okay, all right, and then we have tangent of 5 pi over 3. So let's find 5 pi over 3. Okay, here's again our coordinate points. We need to do y over x. All right, so if we think about tangent there, our y value is negative square root of 3 over 2. And our x value is a half. Well, we don't want to leave things fraction divided by a fraction, so we know that we take it, we flip it, and we multiply. All right, so it looks like I have a 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Those are going to cancel out, so I am left with negative square root of 3. All right, let's do one more tangent because I think you'll like this one. So you need to keep your unit circle in mind. I'm going to do the tangent of 45. Okay, any tangents having to do with 45-degree angles are the best, okay, because we know that those coordinate points are the square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. So if I'm doing the tangent of 45, not forgetting that this is y over x. So we'd have the square root of 2 over 2 divided by the square root of 2 over 2. Those are identical fractions, so this whole thing simplifies to 1. So anytime you're dealing with tangent of 45, you're going to get out 1. Now, depending on the quadrant you're in, going back to this, tangent is going to be positive in quadrant 1. It is going to be negative in quadrant 2. 3 is going to be positive, and 4 is going to be negative. Now let's finish this whole lesson off with a quick shortcut for you. You can always write this on the unit circle. We write a shortcut A, S, T, C. And what that stands for is everything, all trig functions are positive in quadrant 1. Sine is the only one that's positive in quadrant 2. Tangent is the only one that's positive in quadrant 3. And cosine is the only one that's positive in quadrant 4. And that ACTC, or AS, TC, we use as a little shortcut. All students take calculus. And that's a little shortcut for us to remember which things are positive and which quadrants. Okay? You can always draw them in to help you out a little bit, but that's how we use the unit circle.